Gahey and Associates, attorneys and counselors at law specializing in immigration law, are proud to announce the opening of 2 new offices. Now open. Jackson Heights and Ozone Park, Queens. Immigration, bankruptcy, divorce, personal injury.
Call us for a free initial personal consultation at 718-263-5999. Gahey and Associates, attorneys and counselors at law. Hello viewers, this is attorney Naresh Gahey, and after a long time I have some delightful news for our viewers. And joining me today as always is Sandeep, and Sandeep also has a million smiles, especially because he's very happy to know that dreamers, which means people who are expecting something under the Dream Act, have gotten at least something rather than nothing. So I'd say that it is great news, especially for the dreamers who've been dreaming since a while about getting their employment authorization in the United States and beginning their jobs, joining the armed forces in this country. And I think this is fantastic news. So as you all rightly know, Sandeep and I will be talking about the latest announcement from the President of the United States regarding the relief which is available to children who have gone to school in this country. Of course, we are going to speak about the criteria in intricate detail today so that people can actually understand what the President's announcement was all about in connection with dreamers. So firstly, I must tell people that this is not the Dream Act, but this is a relief which has been granted to people under a policy guideline of the Department of Homeland Security. So with me and for the question and answers, and I would strongly recommend everybody that this particular tape will be available on our website at gaheygreencard.com. So if you're missing it, if you have a friend who actually wants to know about what's going on, because you all refer to it as the Dream Act, so this tape will be available on gaheygreencard.com. And joining me today with a million smiles on his face is Sandeep Nair, especially who has been a very good advocate, I believe, of the Dream Act. Hello, Sandeep. I'm sure that you're very happy to know about what's happening, especially for children, because I think you've been to school in this country, and you had friends in this country who actually were illegal, but they were American for all purposes, I believe. Now, what is your reaction to this great news from the President's end?
I think it's a great statement that President Obama is saying about what he wants to do for the future for dreamers. Obviously, just like you said, this is not the Dream Act. So what is this Dream announcement?
The Dream announcement is a policy guideline. So this means, for example, like it's not the Dream Act. Secondly, it's not an amnesty. So don't think that this is an amnesty and you're going to get your green card. The answer basically Homeland Security, and we will see of how things go from there. Now that is very important, but in the meanwhile, if you have a complex immigration case, especially if you're a dreamer, this is going to help you. Again, I'm going to repeat, it's not an amnesty, it's not the DREAM Act, but it's something which I would say like it's something that is on the lines of the DREAM Act. I mean, it's not the DREAM Act. So it's very important for us to know that. Now, there'll be a lot of questions that Sandeep will be having for me, and we're going to clarify every question. And folks, again, I'm going to repeat, if you have missed this particular version, or if your friend has missed us, you can see us actually on gehigreencard.com, and go to gehigreencard.com and you can repeat this particular video, and plus you can see a lot of other informational videos for your parents, for your brothers and sisters. We are trying to make life as easy as possible for our viewers here. So Sandeep, I think you have anything to say at this point of time?
So the type of crimes that
Right.
a potential person in this situation,
Right.
What kind of crime? What kind of crimes?
Felony is something that's going to, not qualify you for the DREAM Act. It's going to be a big obstacle in your way. So, if you're charged with a felony, you're not going to qualify. If it's a serious misdemeanor, consult an attorney. But for minor crimes and all, we can assist people.
So what about traffic crimes?
Traffic crimes depends. I mean, it's a very generic statement, because what happens, Sandeep, is that they get the certificate of disposition from the court if the case is closed or whatnot. And after you look at the certificate of disposition, you'll be able to tell whether, and also it also depends on the state law and everything. So that is super important. Now, one other important thing is that the good news is that a lawyer, for example, we are in New York. We can help you wherever you're located. You may be located in Michigan. If you are watching this in Arizona, the good news is get in touch with an immigration lawyer, because as you all rightly know, things in Arizona right now are not good, all right? Things in Alabama are not good. Things in Georgia right now are not very good. So get in touch with your lawyer, and you'll have relief, or we can help you even if you're in Alabama or anywhere and watching this video in the country. And especially we actually cater to a lot of clients from New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut on a regular basis here. So this is the best time, I believe, for you to start planning. Remember, folks, that this is not an amnesty, and this is not the DREAM Act, but this is relief, which is kind of is within the parameters, I would say, within the ambit, I would say, like, what would you call it? Within the scope of the DREAM Act, I would say.
So what do you think the future is for dreamers because of this news?
I think this is a great news, and I believe the future looks very bright to me, especially if they can prove themselves to be wonderful assets. But now the question is that, I would say that if Obama is elected as the president again, the dreamers are going to have a lot of hope. And what can dreamers do for the president, at this time, is to, actively canvass for him, help him to win the election. If you have family members here, tell them that vote for this administration, because as you rightly saying that people like Joe Arapio, the Maricopa County sheriff, was very much against this. So all the immigrants need to show the strength and support the president.
So do you think that if Mitt Romney was elected, he would reverse this decision?
He was not very much for the DREAM Act. He was not, and that's a sign that it's like you're getting signals from administrations that we are not going to. Now let's put it this way: who are the people who actually killed the DREAM Act? Some conservative Republicans, but there are many good Republicans also. Right. But the question is that the majority of the Democrats are in favor of immigration reform. Now, why am I talking about this now? Because the people who are watching this video are the people who can ask their mamas and your papas, their moms, their dads, their brothers and their sisters to get up, go out and vote if they're born in the United States, because that's going to benefit us. We need the votes. And you put your votes in the right direction, because this is fantastic. What the president has done so far is absolutely fantastic. And also, look at it from a different perspective. People talk about, these illegal immigrants should not be here. They should be out of this country. All right? If you look at every single book of jurisprudence and law, all right, and jurisprudence is a controlling document in law, how can you penalize children for the faults of the parents or the sins of the parents? And I think I fully agree with the president. You're dealing with people here. You're dealing with people who came in when they were very young. They didn't even know how to spell the word green card. They didn't even know how to spell the word illegal alien. So how could you even penalize such wonderful children? So, as someone who has been a firm advocate of the DREAM Act, and actually I was at AILA on Tuesday, we had tears in our eyes because I must thank all our friends from the American Immigration Lawyers Association who have been fantastic supporters of this movement. And like we all had tears in our eyes that after 10 years or 12 years, we are getting some good news from the administration.
Thank you, Attorney Gehi. Thank you for clarifying everything.
And what we're going to do now, Sandeep, is that before we go, we're going to just take a short break.
Sure.
And then we'll go for a question and answer session. So, folks, the DREAM Act continues. It's not the DREAM Act, as I said. Information pertaining to in closeness with the DREAM Act, and it's not a DREAM Act, as I said. Information pertaining to this continues. After this break, don't go away.
Gehi and Associates, attorneys and counselors at law specializing in immigration law, are proud to announce the opening of 2 new offices. Now open. Jackson Heights and Ozone Park, Queens. Immigration, bankruptcy, divorce, personal injury.
Call us for a free initial personal consultation at 718-263-5999. Gehi and Associates, attorneys and counselors at law. Hello viewers, this is Attorney Gehi again, and with me is Sandeep, and we're going to talk about the recent announcement by the President in connection with the Dreamers. As I said, it's not the DREAM Act, but the particular policy is exactly within the confines of the DREAM Act. So we're going to talk about it now with Sandeep. And Sandeep, I think the most important question which you've been getting, and I think we'll have to repeat this for the benefit of our viewers, especially who tuned on a little late on our sets. So what's your question? What's your first question at this time for me?
Does this mean anyone can get a work permit?
Not anyone. You have to be, basically then, I think what you're trying to tell me here is to go through the requirements of the DREAM Act, okay? The first thing what you need to do if you're writing down something is to make a note of the date, June 15th, 2012 was the date. So that's important. Calculate your age. And if you're under the age of 30, that's great news. Point number one. Secondly, you should have been living in the United States for more than 5 years. So, if you've lived here for more than 5 years, that is going to be fantastic for you. The third thing you need to show that you are currently in school, have graduated from high school, you have obtained a general education development certificate, or you're honorably discharged from the armed services or by the Coast Guard. So, if you have a high school diploma, or if you're currently in school, or if you've been in the Army, Navy, or the Air Force, and if you have been honorably discharged, then that is fantastic for you. Then you should not have been charged with you should not have been convicted, not charged. You should not have been convicted of a felony offense, a significant misdemeanor offense, which means a very serious misdemeanor, or multiple misdemeanor offenses, or other poses, otherwise, or any other act that poses a threat to the national security or the public of the United States. So, and plus, as I said, you should not be over the age of 30. Now, one other important thing which we have, like whom will this policy be applying to? At this time, it would be very important for people to know the fact that if you have relatives who are in immigration detention, you need to look into that very carefully. For example, we are getting a lot of calls from families of relatives in jail and kids who are currently in deportations. They should be contacting the lawyers immediately to see what we can do about it. At least we can stop the deportation at this time. Also, it's very important for you to ensure that it's not an amnesty and it's not exactly the DREAM Act. And the implementing guidelines will be given by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in 60 days from June 15th. So this is fantastic news, and what we're going to do is that if you need any further information, it's going to be available to you, to all our viewers on gehigreencard.com. So we are going to post a lot of information about Dreamers at gehigreencard.com. So that all the Dreamers can be happy. Hats off to all you folks. You all did a terrific job by letting the administration know that you are all Americans for all other purposes, except for the fact that you don't have a green card here. keep on the good work, and based upon our analysis, and as a proud supporter of the American Immigration Lawyers Association, I must tell you all that this is fantastic news. And my understanding is that if President Obama wins the next election, you all can look for the DREAM Act and get your green cards in the United States. For all other further questions, if you have on the DREAM Act, shoot us an email at gehigreencard.com, or you can also basically, see us personally on this particular issue. And Sandeep, I think you have put in a lot of time, and what are you going to do for all these people who are watching your video? Do you have any special plans of assisting these children? Are you coming up with something in our office that they can constantly go on their websites and check out things? What's your plan for it so far?
Well, gehigreencard.com, you can check out any video that we've ever taped. There's a whole list of them. There's a whole category of them. Maybe you can apply through any other visa. You can give it a shot. Just check out the videos, contact us, whatever you need to do.
And Sandeep, you're also planning on putting some written material, I believe, about what we are talking about on our website also.
We're gonna get very specific about what the DREAM announcement from President Obama. We'll have some details. If you missed it here, you didn't take it down, you can take a look at our website.
All right, so the other thing is that we want to make it clear that this is not the DREAM Act, and at this time people have to, especially if they are in deportation, I believe, they should start talking to a very good attorney, because we may be able to, we can actually stop the deportation at this time. And other than that, we need to immediately start working on their cases. And if they have criminal records, we would be happy to review them to see whether they fall within basically the guideline wherein we can help them. Even if they have a criminal record, if they are not in school, we can let them know what to do at least to see that exactly, something, that's going to be very much beneficial to them can be worked out for them at this point of time.
Right.
So thank you, Sandeep. It's been a great pleasure being with you always. And folks, this was Attorney Nuresh Gehi talking to you all about the recent developments which is not the DREAM Act, but it's for children who are actually waiting for the DREAM Act. And if you have any further questions, feel free to shoot us an email or come in and see us personally. This is Attorney Gehi from Gehi & Associates, Principal Attorney of Gehi & Associates. For any further questions, you may visit us on our website. We'll be back again with some more interesting news from the world of law. Keep watching this segment brought to you by Gehi & Associates.
Gehi & Associates, attorneys and counselors at law specializing in immigration law, are proud to announce the opening of 2 new offices. Now open. Jackson Heights and Ozone Park, Queens. Immigration, bankruptcy, divorce, personal injury.
Call us for a free initial personal consultation at 718-263-5999. Gehi & Associates, attorneys and counselors at law.